What's up, everybody, and welcome to the WavBenders Music Podcast, the place where you can get all of your information on music production as well as songwriting too. So how this podcast is structured, just so you know, I always have a topic or a set of topics lined up for us to discuss or I give information on. Then I actually like to give updates on what happened this week in the music industry because I feel like no one actually discusses what are some ongoing things that are happening in the music industry, so everything seems like a surprise to us. So I like to research that and then break down some of the articles I read and give you information on what is actually kind of happening this week. And to close out the podcast, I always shout out an underrated artist that has a really nice song or album that I recommend you should listen to, and then sometimes I'll shout out a song that's really stuck in my head that week. So today's topic is going to be how to release a song or an album, and my angle for talking about this is not to discuss the strategy of releasing a song, of how to make it popular or blow up or anything like that. My focus is on the technical things that you should be doing before you release that song to make sure that you collect your royalties, make sure that you have your copyright information taken care of, as well as some other things you should really be aware of too. So I'm going to treat today's topic as if you already have the song created, done, mixed, mastered, the whole process, and you're about to go into the release process for your music. The very first thing that you should do is sign up for a performing rights organization, or you may have heard it written as PRO or something like that. A performing rights organization collects your publicly performed music royalties. So if a restaurant, a store, anything plays your music out loud somewhere, then they're actually going to have to pay you royalties for that music. So on your behalf, the PRO will collect those royalties. For any performing rights organization, I recommend that you sign up as a songwriter and a composer, of course, to make sure you get all of that royalties that apply to you on the musical side of things. But also, if you're not represented by a publisher on the performance side of things, you can also sign up as a publisher as well. Now, if you're represented by a publisher in some way, shape, or form, then don't worry about this because they're already taking care of the publicly collected royalties for you. But if you're fully independent, this is something that I recommend that you actually try and actually might want to do to get all of the money that is going towards your music. Now, some examples of some performing rights organizations are going to be BMI, ASCAP, I think CSAC might be invite only, but ASCAP and BMI are the two most popular ones, and I'm signed up with BMI myself, but do what's best for you, look at some of the benefits both of them have, and then make a decision. I just checked on ASCAP and BMI's website, and ASCAP actually has a deal right now where you can sign up for free as a songwriter and a publisher deal right now, which is really cool. The second thing I recommend that you do is to sign up for the MLC, also known as the Mechanical Licensing Collective. Now, the whole reason this exists is because of the Music Modernization Act of 2018, which essentially was fighting for better copyright things, better royalties, all of that stuff that applies for the songwriters, musicians on that side of things. The whole reason that the MLC exists is to collect your mechanical royalties from digital streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, so forth. So you need to be sure to sign up with them and have an account in their portal. That way you can actually register your songs in there. For each song and album, you're going to have to register, but then you're covered mechanical royalties wise. They'll give you royalty statements. You can actually put your bank information in there to make a direct deposit. All that kind of stuff will be taken care of through them. So highly recommend this. This is fairly kind of new, so I'm trying to spread the word to make sure people know about it to actually collect all of their money. The third and one of the biggest things I think you should actually do is copyright your music. Do not release a single piece of music, lyrics, anything like that before you copyright it. So there's a website called copyright.gov where you can actually go to copyright the music. You can also copyright photos and things like that too if you want to copyright your album art or anything. But you're going to want to copyright two things when it comes to your music. That's going to be the musical composition and the actual master recording as well. This way you've copyrighted the actual chords, the actual music and things that support the lyrics, as well as the things that are being sung on top of it as well. Make sure that is a fully copyrighted thing too. It's going to cost you a little bit of money to register a song or an album, but it's worth it to know that your stuff is covered. And if anyone even tries to steal from you, you have it covered and written down. Number 4 is sign up for Sound Exchange. So Sound Exchange actually collects royalties from some differently operating streaming platforms like, let's say, SiriusXM, Pandora, I think Music Choice, even cable TV as well. These platforms kind of operate like radio almost, where they kind of play music kind of all day-ish. These areas kind of fall under the radar a lot of times of how to collect music royalties from them. So Sound Exchange takes care of that for you once you sign up with them to be able to collect that kind of royalties that operate in this way. The fifth thing that I recommend is to move into distribution now. And the biggest thing that comes with distribution is signing up for a distributor. So you know places like DistroKid, TuneCore, United Masters is out there too, and any others that are out there. You're going to have to sign up with one of those to be able to release your music. Each one of these offers something different in terms of money, pricing, that kind of stuff, as well as benefits and stuff that they do for the artist. So just look through it, see which one you like best. And another thing that comes with signing up for a distributor is they actually help you create your artist profile too. So all of those profiles that are on Spotify, Apple Music, I think Amazon Music as well, the rest of them, they help you create those. I think when you sign up for a PRO, they're going to ask you what your artist name is. So just be aware that your artist name will have to match, and I hope you will make sure of that. It will have to match whatever you put down earlier too. And since we talked about distribution, the sixth thing is going to come with claiming your artist profiles. So I'm just going to read the list to make sure I don't miss one. There's Spotify for artists, there's Apple Music for artists, there's Amazon Music for artists, and then YouTube official artist channel as well. I think there's one or two more that might be kind of different ones that I always miss and forget to mention. Yeah, so you can also sign up for a Deezer for creators as well as Pandora Amp as well. Make sure that you claim all of these profiles and actually update it with information like your bio, as well as maybe some links to your social media profiles, all of that kind of stuff that'll make you look more interactive with your audience. And whatever distributor that you sign up with, they're actually going to walk you through the process a lot. So you're going to upload the song or the album, and they're going to walk you through, okay, these are the things that we need from you in information wise and what we kind of recommend too. So don't be too scared. They're going to walk you through it. And my last thing is just start marketing the song. So my number one recommendation is to create social media profiles based around your artist's name. This way you can actually create content based around your music to show it off, as well as interact with your potential fans and audience that's out there. I might do an interview with someone too, talking about the process of marketing your song and what are the best strategies too, just so you have an idea of what to expect and what you can try. So this week in the music industry, it's been a little crazy actually. So there's a few articles that I ran across that I was like, I got to make sure that everyone knows about these. So the first thing I found was that Meta just released an AI text to music generator, and they're calling it Music Gen right now. So it's listening to over like 20,000 hours of licensed music. So they've been training it, and it's been listening to over 390,000 different kind of instrument only tracks in total, they're saying, including some other sites that they've been using to give it music. It's a little weird, but I think music producers should just be aware of this, of kind of what the new phase is that people are kind of doing now when it comes to generating music. I mean, it's great, I feel like, for like people that just want to get music in their like YouTube videos or anything like that, but just be aware of it now, because it might be threatening some jobs. So just be aware of it. Another kind of AI related thing, but it's actually TuneCore is this one's about. So they're partnering with Grimes for a beta program where they're inviting users to create songs using her voice, and she's just going to be taking 50% share of the master recording royalties, but you can use her voice on your songs, and whatever you release, you just have to give her credit for it and split the royalties. Grimes has actually been really kind of ahead of this game and like really seeing it as a positive as opposed to a negative. You've seen a lot of the UMG stuff with Drake and how they're kind of like fighting it and really hate the AI voice stuff. She's really been leaning into it, and honestly is turning it into a positive and a really great way to make more money as well, because there's a lot of producers out there that I'm sure have some great ideas for using her voice in a track, but just don't have the access. And so now this is kind of increasing her footprint as well as kind of her money as well. The new Into the Spider-Verse movie actually has had a lot of complaints audio-wise when it comes to the dialogue, and so many complaints have been kind of submitted to them of how low the dialogue is in comparison to the music, that they've actually remixed the dialogue and the audio to be better. So when you go see it now, it may have better audio. Marvel don't play that mess. So that's cool that you get some better audio now. And the movie's fire. If you haven't seen it, I really like Metro Boomin's album too. It's Hidden Its Flames. And the last article that I came across that I found interesting was that it involved Universal Music Group as well as SoundCloud too. And I'm going to have to read some of this one just to keep it from being super confusing. So apparently UMG is in talks with SoundCloud to overhaul music royalty payments is the whole deal. SoundCloud recently changed their royalty structure to fan-powered royalties. I don't know if you remember this kind of coming out a while ago. Instead of like with Spotify when they kind of pulled the money and put it all together, SoundCloud divides each customer's subscription among the artist that the customer listened to. So if you subscribe, whatever money you're paying for it monthly, according to who the artists are that you're listening to, that money kind of goes to the artist directly. That money does, instead of it being kind of pulled in one, how Spotify does it and just mass give it out. So that's kind of cool. I really like that. So UMG is wanting to add kind of a tiered system to SoundCloud's royalty structure right now, and so they want to adjust the tiers to be for active engagement rather than passive engagement. So they can explain it like the artist earns a penny when someone visits their page and listens to their music, but if a song appears in the music discovery playlist, that's kind of passively listening, they're saying, and so they're wanting it to really generate a quarter of a cent, right? So a percentage of that instead of the whole cent. I wish that they would just give artists as much money as possible and not always try to cheap them out depending on how your music is discovered, which I don't like that aspect of kind of what they're arguing. So we'll see how that kind of develops and if it pans out properly. So those are some of the things that were big that were happening in the music industry this week. If you haven't also seen the Billboard Top 10, I'm going to read these off just so you have an idea of what's kind of trending right now as far as music. Morgan Wallen is at the top right now with his song Last Night. It's been on the chart for 19 weeks. Flowers has been up here for 21 at number 2. Calm Down with Rima and Selena Gomez is up here. Apparently it's been 40 weeks on the charts, which is insane. Fast Car by Luke Combs is up here. All My Life, which was just recently released, is on here. Kill Bill is still on the charts by SZA at number 6 right now. It's been on here 26 weeks. Favorite Song by 2C is blowing up even more. It's on its way up, but it's at number 7 right now. Number 8 is Ella Baila Sola by Esteban Armado, and then Peso Pluma. I actually hope that's correct the way that I said it, but that's a really good song. I've heard it. Number 9 is Creepin', and then 10 is Karma, featuring Ice Spice, the latest version. So those are the Billboard Top 10 that are blowing up right now. So my underrated song of the week actually is something that I found on TikTok, as I find most of my music now. But it popped up on my For You page. It was a very kind of different cinematic kind of look, almost like a film kind of video look, but his voice was something that was so dope. It was a cool sample track as well. If you like UK rappers, you're probably gonna love this guy. He's got a great voice, great beat to support him as well. And the song is called Okay Then by Jordo, and a song that's been stuck in my head all week because of TikTok once again. It's called Popular by The Weeknd, featuring Playboi Carti and Madonna, I think. But this song has been blowing up on TikTok. And I think the 7 or so seconds of Playboi Carti actually rapping is the most popular part of it, which I get. He's got a great vibe, a great feel for the track. And this one's been stuck in my head all week. Thanks so much for listening to the WavBenders Music Podcast. It's been super great. I think I'm going to kind of stick with this format a little bit more as we go on, kind of develop it a little bit more, make it more smooth and structured out. But this is kind of how it's going to go. Let me know if you have topics you want me to talk about or mention or go over some things that have happened in the industry that I should know about. Make sure to comment, follow, subscribe wherever you're listening to or watching this at. I appreciate it a whole bunch and look forward to next week as well.